Reggie Miller. When the Pacers haven't stopped themselves with 15 turnovers already this evening, Reggie Miller has been the subject of direct attention. Physically, when he comes off screens, they're banging him at every opportunity. The hip check by Allen Houston. Reggie Miller only has 2 free throw attempts. He's made both.
A dozen points for Reggie. And the Pacers leading by 2, just under 7 minutes left in the third.
There's another one of those declining graphs that we've seen from Reggie. Almost below sea level if it goes too much farther, Tom.
Chris Mullin back in the game, trying to defend Marcus Camby.
Well, they're too close together, so Johnson's going over the top for 2 more.
LJ, who started the game 1 of 5, has now made 5 in a row, beginning with that 3-pointer at the buzzer to end the first quarter.
Reggie Miller's having a pretty good evening. It's just that he hasn't taken a lot of shots. He's 4 for 6 from the field, so he's shooting it well, just not getting enough attempts. They go back to Smith.
Jackson for 3. Houston leading the fast break. Camby. Boy, Indiana lacked about getting back on defense.
And that was Larry Bird's main message to the team today was transition D. You can't let these guys with the young, fresh legs like Camby and Sprewell get out and beat you up and down the court.
But anytime you shoot a quick shot and it's deep out on the perimeter like Jackson's was, and you surprise your teammates, you're not going to have a good chance. You see Larry Johnson and the space that Dale Davis gives him, trying to make sure that he's giving help to Chris Mullin, costs up the perimeter shot to Larry Johnson, and then in the break you'll see Marcus Camby dancing over the top.
Steve, why doesn't LJ go to the lick every time?
He's saving it for special occasions.
Okay. Right, you know. Chris Dudley in serious foul trouble here. Not much on the offensive end.
And Smith's back to the free throw line. Tomorrow, after the NBA playoffs, NBC is giving you a second chance to see the outrageous Third Rock season finale and the Mad About You series finale. That's Third Rock, followed by Mad About You, all starting at 9/8 Central tomorrow on NBC.
The Pacers as a team have yet to miss a free throw. Smith's got the first, trying to get the second. He has been sizzling since he came back in. That's 19 points. 4 here in the third quarter for Rick Smith.
Indiana, which went forever without shooting a free throw, is 9 for 9 in the game.
And that's a big change from the 47 free throw attempts that they took in game 2 at home.
New York is 4 of 6. Here's a foul call. Illegal pick. Larry Johnson, who shakes his fingers.
Now, if you've been watching any of the playoffs, and players should know that, pick-and-roll situations are Kerry Durham's favorite call. If you are not silent and still, as the Larry Johnson is barking and reacting, you will end up getting the whistle going against you as a screener.
Van Gundy and Terry Durham are really getting into it in front of the Knicks bench.
Dale Davis, back rim, rebounded by Marcus Camby. How valuable has Camby been to New York in this game?
How could Toronto give him up?
Violation by the Knicks will turn it over to Indiana.
I like that move that Jess Kersey made. It was a little Broadway himself. He gave us a watch. And he come down here, put both hands on the ball, and come into the rim, and got caught.
You can do that in football. Kurt Thomas is back in for the New York Knicks.
Tom, when you see the contributions of Sprewell, Camby, these are the guys that Ernie Grunfeld, who got the axe, he brought in. That was his vision. I'm wondering if he's going to ask for his job back.
Larry Johnson went to the bench with 4 fouls. Thomas is in.
Smith.
And he throws his hands up in disbelief.
Another illegal screen, Tom.
This time it's just Kersey tagging, and you can see the disgusted look on Bird's face.
Derek McKee replacing Dale Davis for Indiana.
Steve, you were a guy that received a lot of screens. Some say needed a lot of screens, but isn't it the guy who's receiving the screen? It's his job to wait for the guy to get set. What are they doing out there?
Well, they're all moving too quickly, and it is the responsibility of the guy that's getting the screen to wait. Allen Houston just busting his way in and forces a call in his favor. This one going to go against Chris Mullin.
Houston splitting the defenders and actually initiating the contact.
Allen Houston knows that he plays a lot better when he gets to the foul line. When he drives to that hoop instead of settling for that perimeter jumper, he is so much more valuable than Jeff Van Gundy.
No Mullen. They give it to Reggie Miller. That is his first foul of the evening.
I noticed that they brought McKee off the Indiana bench to defend Marcus Camby. Is that the ultimate compliment or not? McKee, one of their best defenders, and who would have guessed that he'd be called on to defend Marcus Camby?
Marcus Camby started the season. He was just stopping himself.
New York leads by 2. Mullen for 3. Bullseye. Chris Mullen buries a 3. He has 2 3-pointers, his 6 points in the game.
And now with Sprewell back in the game, the Pacers scoring at a more regular clip. The Knicks can't run out of the net.
Allen Houston lost it trying to dodge Rick Smits.
This play right here had Jeff Van Gundy talking to his assistants. I told him, don't let him catch the ball in that kind of position. And we'll see if it has any impact as they try to find Rick Smits.
Smits being defended by Camby as Allen Houston commits his second foul.
Remember, Sprewell used to be a teammate of Chris Mullen, and he told us that he learned something about Mullen, but he's not applying it right now. Mullen is the master of the seam. You give him one, he'll make you pay.
Now that's a rarity right there. Chris Mullen clanging one.
And tomorrow, 6 Eastern on NBC, NBA playoff coverage begins with NBA Showtime. Then the Trailblazers trying to stave off the sweep as they meet the San Antonio Spurs in Game 4. Showtime, then Game 4 in the West, starting at 6 Eastern tomorrow here on NBC.
We got the great three-point shooters here, Chris Mullen, Reggie Miller. How about the three-point shooting for San Antonio with Jaren Jackson, Steve Kerr, Sean Elliott?
Sprewell misses, got a good look, couldn't hit it. Antonio Davis, who just replaced Rick Smits for Indiana, collars the rebound. Sprewell 4 of 13 in the game. Antonio Davis fouled by Camby.
The Knicks cry, and right now they cannot lose their focus on the officials. They've got to stay in the ball game. They got themselves off the floor after being down 5, got a 2-point advantage. Marcus Camby has been sensational since entering the ball game, but he did foul Antonio Davis, who goes to the line.
Number 2 on Camby.
Steve, you said when he says entering the ball game, remember he started the second half. You and I are old enough to remember John Havlicek. He was the vaunted 6th man for the Boston Celtics. Havlicek would sit out the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game and then play the rest of the way, full 43 minutes. That's what Van Gundy is really going with now with Marcus Camby and Sprewell.
Antonio Davis hits that free throw. Chris Childs is in at the point for the Knicks, replacing Charlie Ward.
3-point ball game, trying to go to Allen Houston on the post against Reggie Miller. Houston is not a great post player, but a tough fadeaway.
Allen Houston now has recorded 13 points. His personal battle with Reggie Miller. Houston has scored 1 more point. Sprewell, Thomas nearly lost it out of bounds. Childs calling for it.
Quickness advantage again for New York.
Allen Houston. 2 in a row for Houston. That one from Sprewell. And as we've said before, the ability of Sprewell and Houston now to play together has been a big boost for the New York offense. 9 in the quarter for Houston. And Sprewell nearly dragged Jackson down.
Well, that is the ultimate Sprewell move right there, but we'll go back and take a look at Allen Houston down on the post against Reggie Miller, gets him planted and then a quick turn and pop, and that gets a little bit of offensive confidence for Allen Houston, and then Sprewell in transition trying to find his way through, finds Allen Houston almost in the same spot. The result, the same.
1-point game.